Hello, everyone. Welcome back to EF Live. Hope everyone's doing well today. Today, I'm back again with Mike Swig, good friend, coworker, at Empire Flippers. Swig, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jake. It's great to be back, man. From the first episode, the show's come a long way, and really excited to be back here on episode 9.
So, for those of you who don't know this, which is probably a lot of people, Swig is kind of, the behind the scenes guy, and with the show, he's there. He's in the if you're on YouTube and you see Empire Flippers chatting with you, it's Swig. He's helped out a lot with the show. Swig, what's been your favorite thing about the show so far? This is, I believe, week 9. So yeah, what's your favorite?
Yeah, I think the best thing about the show is that we're really focusing on some, common questions that we're hearing a lot from customers, from people who are interested in the online business area. And we're able to address these questions like right away. And I think that's one of the coolest things about the show is that we're able to get people to tune in from all over the world and kind of go in depth on a lot of different topics that I think it's become pretty popular.
That's what you said there is something I just think is the coolest thing, that we get to talk with people all around the world. As you know, Swig, I do the seller interviews for Empire Flippers, and you know, whenever I do a seller interview with someone, they're like, "Oh, I'm from Australia," and I was going to attempt to do an accent, but I can't, and it was going to sound terrible. Whenever they're like, "I'm from Australia," I just think, "Okay, well, I'm speaking to you literally opposite side of the world." Like, this is so cool. I think that's a really cool aspect of this show.
Yeah, and I think the technology that actually goes into the streaming is pretty advanced for, even 2018. It's really cool that we're able to host live streaming together on a variety of different
Mm-hmm.
platforms. So we're coming at you live on a WordPress site, Facebook, and on YouTube. So it's a really cool piece of software, and it really lets us kind of connect with an audience directly, hands on, and kind of go over some really interesting content.
And the crazy thing is, it's all being streamed from my tiny 2013 MacBook Air. It's I agree with you. Like, it's amazing that this stuff all works out.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. We got some people tuning in now. Where's everyone at right now? I'm based in Medellin, Colombia, but I'm actually traveling tomorrow morning to Austin,
Hmm.
Texas, for the DC Austin conference, which I'm really excited for. Um, we're big fans of the Dynamite Circle guys. They run Tropical NBA podcasts, and they put out a lot of great content as
Yeah,
well.
I'm in Orlando, Florida right now in the United States, and you know, I'll be here for let's see, the next 3 episodes, I think, including this week. So this week and then the next two. And then after that, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale, actually with Swig. So that'll be pretty cool. We'll be at a conference there. And then the following week, I'll probably, I don't know where I'll be the following week, but then after that, I'll be in Vietnam, in Saigon, with our other team member, Greg. And it's going to be a fun summer, just traveling around a lot.
Yeah, man, I'm flying to Miami tomorrow to connect to Austin, but I'm really looking forward to the Seller Summit conference in Fort
Hmm.
Lauderdale. So if there's any of our listeners out there who are going to be attending Seller Summit conference, make sure you reach out to me and Jake because we'll be there personally. We're going to have a little dinner beforehand, and we're really excited to meet up with everyone. We've already had a few customers reach out to us that we're going to be able to meet up with. The speakers there lined up look great, so I'm really pumped for that conference as
Yeah, it'll be a
well.
really, really good opportunity to connect with everyone. And I guess before we really dive in to what we're going to talk about today, I just kind of want to give you guys a brief run through again, in case you're new to the show, of who the heck me and Swig are. So, my name's Jake Davis. I'm your host every single week. And, like I said, I'm coming at you from Orlando, Florida as a 22-year-old electrical engineering student graduating. Swig, I'm almost done. I'm so close.
Congrats, man. And you just got to get through this what, a few more
Yeah,
weeks or one more.
so next week, as an engineering student, you need to build this, like, with a group, a big senior project. So our project will be done and our presentation is next week, which is exciting. And then I only have one more exam and then I am done. So like it's going to be, I'm so close. But anyway, yeah, so I'm coming at you from Orlando, about to graduate, and I've been doing the seller interviews for Empire Flippers. So if you've listened to those since I think July, you'll have heard my voice. And now I'm going to be brought on full time with Empire Flippers, and it's a really amazing, opportunity. I'm glad that I get to do this show for you guys. Swig, who are you?
I'm Mike Swig, originally from St. Louis, Missouri. Went to university at the University of Missouri, and after I graduated, kind of started the digital nomad lifestyle. So I've been kind of living abroad, working internationally for the past 7 years. So it's really exciting that I've, kind of found a home base in Medellin, Colombia, but still, even though I spent around 6 months here, the other 6 months are spent traveling. With working for Empire Flippers, you have the freedom to travel and work from anywhere with steady internet. So I'll be heading to Europe for 2 months this summer, and have a lot of other travel plans planned out for 2018.
It's funny you mentioned steady internet. A lot of the team is meeting up. It's Boracay, right?
Yeah, Boracay, man. It's one of the most beautiful islands in the world, but the internet is a little bit, unstable at times because, it is an island. So I think it seems like they're getting things figured out on the internet front. I just had a call with our new hire, Jeannie and Greg, yesterday, and Justin. So the call quality was good, so I think it's improving.
So I guess that's gonna kind of lead us into well, first off, you asked how's everyone doing? We got saying hello. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. Anyone on your end, Swig?
We've got a bunch of people tuning in. If you see the chat on the right side, guys, just let us know where you're tuning in from. We really like to see where where our audience is
and
at.
We've got a couple recurring viewers that we know are here. It's been a few weeks now. Swig and I are thinking of the same guy. So, guys, if you are here, let us know, because we'll call you out. We'll shout you out, and thank you for hanging out with us. And
we got somebody from Panama. Cool. What up,
Polonius? How are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Like, it's, again, Panama. Like, that's so outside of where I am right now. That's really, really insanely cool. And again, we're gonna.
My girlfriend and I just spent 3 weeks in Panama. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah. What for?
We were looking for, it was direct flights from Medellin. We're kind of in between visas between here and Colombia. Oh, wow, we got a lot of people tuning in now. Sup, Fly Dude from the UK. Whereabouts are you from in the UK? I've spent a lot of time traveling on Megabus and National Express all around the UK. Beautiful country. Got somebody from the US in Philly, Jenny from Philly, and Jamie from Toronto. Wow.
Well, North America represent here.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget about the UK guy. We got a Sup with Fly
I know.
Dude.
So I've never been to the UK. I feel like you got, especially with living this, working with Empire Flippers, as you were saying, I can live anywhere, and I'll be traveling a lot, I'm sure, over the next however many years. I feel like, London is a place you gotta hit, right?
Yeah, definitely going to London, but the UK has so much to offer outside of London. You can fly in there, there's a lot of international flights. You can take a lot of cheap buses around the country. There's also a lot of cheap flights. You can fly to like Newcastle, really like Liverpool. It's a beautiful city. So there's a lot to offer in the UK.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting out. Like the summer, I'll be in Asia, and it'll be a really cool experience. So if you are tuning in and you have any questions about us, about Empire Flippers, about anything related to what we're talking about today, or not, if it's something else to do with your small business, just let us know, and we'll be doing Q&A at the end, and we want to get to as many questions as we can. We want to make all of you feel like this show is for all of you. So with that said, Swig, what are we going to be talking about today?
So we're talking about Amazon Associates, and this is by far my favorite business model out of any businesses we sell on our marketplace. It's got to be my number one pick. It's just something like it's really easy to wrap your head around. The capital for starting it is like really simple. So basically, I'll just touch on what is Amazon Associates and why I think it's the best business model. Um, it's one of the biggest in the world. So if you're, unless you're born, in a cave or something, you've probably heard of Amazon. And this is their, associates program. Basically, you get paid money for referring people to Amazon.com, and any of those purchases that they make, um, within 24-hour cookie, if they click on your link on your website and you send them over to Amazon, if they buy anything, even if it's not the same product that you're reviewing, you get a commission on that. So it's a really cool sort of concept.
But with that said, Swig, the last, they need to have come from your website. It's not they go through your website to Amazon, click through your link, get to Amazon, then they close the window and then they open up Amazon separately again. It needs to be in the same, session, doesn't it?
I think there's a 24-hour cookie. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I'm pretty sure even if they don't buy right then, if they added something to their cart and they purchase it later, that cookie will still count.
And that's one of the best things about Amazon Associates. How many of us have gone to Amazon and bought one thing, and then you buy another thing, and then you buy another thing.
You can't just buy one. You can't just buy one.
Buying one thing is impossible. So Amazon is one of the best companies at converting. They have an amazing marketplace and they know how to convert. So as long as you get them to Amazon, that you've done your part. If they buy one thing, you get a commission. If they buy two things, you get a commission, even if it's not something that you recommend.
Yeah, so the common strategy for Amazon Associates is that you find a certain niche, and let's say just chairs, like you're writing about chairs. Best chair reviews, you write an article about the best chairs of 2018, and you link to those chairs to send people over to Amazon. Once they click that link on your website and send them over, if they buy that chair that you reviewed, or if they buy, an unrelated chair that, that you didn't review, or if they buy a flat screen TV, they buy any other unrelated products, you still get a commission percentage from that. And that's one of the great things is Amazon's so good at converting. Like you just log in, most people already have an Amazon account. They have their stuff already filled out. They've split tested, millions and millions of dollars worth of split testing to help get people to buy products on their website. So once you get the consumer or the person on your website over to Amazon, there's a really good chance that it's going to convert that person. And that's why it's a little bit better than most other private affiliates. Even let's say the competitors of Walmart, let's say you have Walmart, how many people out there actually have a Walmart account? It's probably a still good amount, but it's not nearly as high as Amazon. So that's why the conversions are such at a higher rate.
And something else I love about Amazon Associates is so you need to put in the work to get the site up and running and try to get traffic in, so obviously people can click through to Amazon from your link. But once you have it up and running, it's one of the most passive business models you could have.
Yeah, you pretty much just need to front load the work. If you're going to build it from scratch, you set up the site structure, get the content going. But before all that, the most important part is doing keyword research. So using something like Ahrefs, Longtail Pro, SEMrush to look at your niche's keywords and see what topics you want to focus on. Once you get those keywords kind of picked out, then you can as easy as sending it over to a writer and having them do the writing for you.
A question I have before we move on here for you, Swig, is you mentioned keyword research. Before you do that, and before you look for keywords, look for products you want to recommend, you need to first pick your niche, pick the niche that you want to recommend products in. And I mean, do you have any tips for finding those niches?
Yeah, there's definitely something like that I recommend is just get on Amazon, see what's popular out there, see something, try and find like an area that maybe you can go to the Amazon's bestseller products. See, they have a bunch of different categories. Find a category and see some products that are doing well on there. and try and find a niche that's probably not as competitive. So you can use Amazon.com to do your research to find your niche. I think that's probably one of the best ways to go about doing that.
So, in addition to just talking about Amazon Associates today, we want to talk mainly about why Amazon Associates can be good for a newcomer, and it can also be good for a veteran business owner. So, let's start with the newcomer swig. Why is Amazon Associates newbie friendly?
Well, it's just a really low barrier to entry. There's no real capital required. You know, a lot of newbies can just write the content themselves. If you want to outsource it, that's something that you can do, and you know that's something I would highly suggest. So you can focus on just creating the site and expanding it. But you know that's not for everyone. If they want to do it, you know, if you have a low budget, definitely something you can do is write the content yourself, and that'll save you a lot of money. But you know, it depends what you want to do and how big your budget is. So I think you know with under $1,000, you can get started with an Amazon Associate site. You know, that's going to pay for the content, pay for the getting the website and hosting up, and that's really all you need is you know good content, good keyword research, and you know all that can cost under $1,000.
And what suggestions do you have, Swig, for writing the content? Is there something that if someone is trying to write it themselves, or if they're outsourcing it and they need to be able to tell the writer what to do, what they're looking for, what are they looking for?
Yeah, I think you know looking at when you're doing your keyword research, you're also going to want to look at your competitors. So no matter what niche you're in, there's going to be competitors, whether they're, you know, selling products directly or using Amazon Associates. You want to look at their writing. Look at the first people that are on position 1 and 2 in Google, and see what your competitors' writing style is like. Because obviously that writing style is good for the niche, and it's ranking well in Amazon or in Google.com. So you want to be able to kind of replicate that, you know, not copy it, but, you know, look at their structure, create an SOP for your writers, or try to, you know, write in a similar style. Most of the keywords that they're going to be using are going to be focused throughout the article. You know, see what keywords they're ranking for and how dense the keyword is in that article.
And I guess for length and paragraph structure and stuff, I mean, all of that is just something that a newbie should look at, you know, try to find an established site and try to mimic what they're doing. You know, if you look and see that a veteran website in your niche has articles at about 3,000 words and you're wanting to post 500 word articles, so you think they should reconsider that?
Yeah, definitely. I think any of the content needs to be over 800 words. I'd recommend in the 1,200 and above. Google just likes that longer content better.
And the big thing with Amazon Associates, as Swig and I said before, you put in a lot of time up front to not have to put in time later on. So if you can really establish these roots, have strong SEO work from the get-go, then you can just generate a lot of organic traffic in the future without putting in time. I mean, that's something, and we're going to talk about this later when we talk about the featured listing, but that's just something I love about Amazon Associates. Whenever I do the seller interviews for Empire Flippers and a seller is, you know, selling an Amazon Associates business, I just am blown away that they're making, you know, like the featured listing tonight, or today, it's not a night, but today is making like over $9,000 in profit on average for the last year. And that's with very, very little time invested, you know, on a monthly basis, because you just need to get started.
Yeah, it's really, you really front load all of that work, and you know you spend a few months getting the site up and running, and after that, if you outsource it, you really don't have to do much. It's just a lot of passive income, kind of waiting for your articles to go up the rankings in Google, doing backlinking strategies. And if you're new to this, if you don't understand what we're talking about, head over to cloudliving.com. They have a really good course for getting started. They walk you through keyword research, which is probably one of the most complicated parts of Amazon Associates. And it's also one of the most important. If you don't do good keyword research, you're going to really, really regret it after you've started your site. because your content won't be targeting the right keywords. So
And it's just, again,
um,
something you want to put in, we just really want to stress, you want to put in the time at the start and making sure everything is as close to perfect as could be. Because if you do that in the start, you really won't have to worry about as much later on. You want to build a strong foundation so you can generate a lot of organic traffic.
Yeah, and definitely, I highly recommend, if you can afford it, outsourcing the writing. And Cloud Living discusses how you can kind of find a good writer. I'd recommend them being native English speakers from, either North America, Australia, UK, wherever they are. Paying that extra money for the native speakers is going to come back and really be worthwhile in the long run.
So now that I mean, it's newbie friendly because accessing this type of business model is so easy, and it's very inexpensive to start, and there are great tools to learn. But why is it veteran friendly?
Yeah, Jake, that's a great question. I think the best thing about Amazon Associates is you can really define yourself if you want to start a niche site or an authority site. And a lot of the veterans are out there creating authority sites where they're one of the most go-to places for that piece of niche. So let's say you're in the chairs niche. Maybe you didn't want to go into the chairs niche because that's too tight of a topic. Let's say you wanted to go into the home and office niche, where maybe 20% of your articles talk about office chairs, and you want to become an authority on that because you can expand into a lot different categories outside of just chairs. So, once you've established your site as one of the authorities in the niche, you can kind of add some other types of monetization methods outside of Amazon Associates. Um, so we've seen people who've created their own products. So let's say you're ranking number one on Google for best office chair, and instead of sending to Amazon, you can still have some of those Amazon links. But let's say you just want to source your own chair, create it, and turn it into an e-commerce business. You could set it up with an Amazon FBA business and send people directly to your own products.
Is it? I'm gonna use the term legal here, but is it legal within Amazon to be Amazon Associates and recommend products that you sell on Amazon? So, say you have an Amazon FBA business, can you recommend your own products?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that
Definitely
something
can.
that you see often?
It's not something we've definitely seen some people, and actually our guest next week can go in a little more in depth in this. They've started, they've transitioned from Amazon Associates to having an Amazon FBA. So it's definitely
Mm-hmm.
definitely a possibility.
So, I guess when talking about, I mean, as an expert here, what are authority hacker and niche pursuits?
So these are some authority sites in creating online businesses, basically. So both of these websites, I highly recommend you checking them out. Authority Hacker, Niche Pursuits. We've done a few collaborations with them in the past, and they just put out great content. They have courses that you can look at. They have a lot of free content as well. And if you're looking to really create an Amazon site, these guys are great to check out. So Authority Hacker, they're really great. Like the stuff they put out is just high quality, and they've become, you know, they're writing tips on how you can create an authority site. And this is kind of what I'm talking about is, when you've become an authority site, there's people that are just naturally linking to your website because the content's so great, because the stuff that you're putting out is such high quality that, you've really become the authority in that space. And they kind of help you replicate that for whatever niche you're interested in.
And something else that's worth mentioning, if you are a veteran business owner, you may already have access to a full staff of writers. You may already have this process down. There's someone who, and I have someone in mind actually. I've done maybe 5 seller interviews with him in the last few months. And what he does for a living is he has a team who helps him build Amazon associate sites. and he just pumps them out, and he'll try a bunch of different niches, and for every three that don't work out, not every business, not every site is going to work out. He has one that's a winner, and then you can grow that winner, and then as he does, he sells them. And I mean, I think that's just a testament to the Amazon associate model, that you have people who their livelihood is creating and building these sites.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Once you've kind of built a few of them, you can really easily replicate that process and outsource it, create SOPs, and kind of have other people do the work for you, so you don't have to be a part of that, of the writing process, building the
Mm-hmm.
website. So once you have those processes down, it's really easy to replicate, and you can just do the keyword research and pass it off to
Mm-hmm.
your writing team.
It's, I mean, when you have, as you said, these processes down, it's as simple as find the next niche that you want to start a site for, and then go through the process. Something else that I want to talk about here, I want to touch on, and maybe someone was going to ask it in questions, and if you are, sorry to steal your thunder here. Again, we are having a Q&A after, so any questions you have, definitely post them on Facebook or YouTube chat right now. And I guess my question for you, Swig, is you talk about generating, get people to link for you, generate organic traffic. And can you first explain what a PBN is, a public blog network, private blog network, and
Yeah.
first explain what it is.
So a private blog network, and we see a mixture of people who've used these, and we disclose these on Empire Flippers Marketplace, is basically a strategy that people are using their own blogs to sort of filter traffic to their money site. So let's say you have 10 blogs that you own. Let's just call them, blog 1 through 10. Those blogs are just writing, fairly thin content, but the sole purpose of those blogs is to direct it to your main blog. Let's say, your blog's in the office niche, and you want to direct that traffic from those PBNs directly to your main money
Mm-hmm.
site. So your money site is where you're actually linking the Amazon Associates referral links, and pretty much you're using that funnel of those 10 or 15 other blogs to really get traffic to your main site.
Isn't that kind of a bit of a gray area within Google?
Yeah, it's definitely a gray hat strategy of SEO. People can get penalized for having PBNs, but there's a high risk, high reward here. You're, instead of having to wait 8 to 12 months to rank naturally in Google, because we see people with these PBN links that are ranking a lot faster and a lot higher than they would have if they didn't use it. So it's really one of those things that you have to consider what strategy you
But
want
it's
to
also
take.
something that if you want to do it, make sure that you research how to do it correctly and safely, because as Swig said, you can get penalized by Google. It is technically against their terms of service. So if you
Yes.
do this, you need to make sure that you build your links in a safe manner. Oh, your background, your TV shut off. You're now on a screensaver.
Oh
Yeah, it's,
no. Oh, we got some
I
fireworks for
know,
you guys.
pretty fireworks we've had for there. It is EF Live. We're
We're back in
back.
it.
So Swig, I think this is the big question that everyone has in everything. You know, getting started. As uh, I speed run video games, and everyone asks, how do you learn this trick? How do you learn this glitch, or whatever it is? How do you go from a newbie to an expert? And that applies here with Amazon Associates here. How do you go from a newbie to an expert?
Yeah, I mean, there's it's not going to happen overnight. That's definitely, like, you need to start out, practice like building your first site if you haven't built one yet. And there's kind of a shortcut, or maybe a shortcut as you're playing games. You find a glitch or something, and you want to take the short way to becoming an expert. And the best way to do that is actually buy a website that's already established. So like Jake mentioned earlier, he has, we've seen people that build sites, constantly, out of 3 or 4 sites, only one of them's actually ranking well in Google and performing well. And what's great with Empire Flippers is, we're selling those sites that they've spent a year of, researching the content, putting out great quality content, and those articles that they put out are already ranking in Google. If you're going to start a site in the same niche, it's going to take you, if you don't use PBN, it's going to take anywhere from 8 to 12 months to actually start ranking on page one. And that's if you're doing everything correctly. There's a lot of times you can still do everything right, and it just will not rank, depending on your backlinking strategy.
And there's also, the fact that there, as Swig said earlier, you want to find a niche that's not overly competitive, because everyone is trying to rank. Everyone is trying to be on that front page of Google for these certain keywords. So, that's another, thing that could add to the, you're doing everything correctly and you're just not seeing the results you want. Maybe there's too much competition.
Yeah, that's when you do your keyword research, you'll see the main keywords where, you're having 5,000 searches a month. That's going to be, your big money. Like, that's the dream. That's the goal. That's where the experts are. They're on page one of that 5,000 search term with a buyer intent keyword, best office chair. That's going to be a keyword that if you're number one, you're going to be linking people to Amazon and creating a lot of money off of that. And those are the experts. Those are the people who've established it. And what you can do is, if you're going to have a hard time if you're starting out just to get onto that page one for that. So you want to focus on long tail keywords. And that's something like the short tail keyword would be best office chair. The long tail keyword would be best office chair for lower back pain in 2018. Keywords like that where you're, there's not going to be as high search volume, but there's still people looking for those products out there.
And another thing you can do, as we mentioned earlier, is you can add, you can expand your business. If you are recommending, office chairs, maybe you could produce or sell your own office chairs, add Amazon FBA. You could also be an affiliate for other programs. It doesn't have to be solely Amazon.
Yeah, there's, you could reach out to one of the top manufacturers of office chairs and tell them, hey, I'm getting, I'm number one on best office chairs, and I want to set up a private affiliate deal, and I'm going to send them directly to the manufacturer's website. Once you do that, you can expect a lot higher commission. Because you're going to be dealing directly. You're kind of cutting out the middleman.
And you can also, run ads, get AdSense going on your website. So, it's just a small thing, but whenever someone does click to your website, if they see an ad, someone's getting paid whenever someone sees an ad.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of types of ways to really expand your website. I would suggest if you're starting out, just focus on Amazon Associates. They actually have native ads, which you can use. So you can use text links. You can use, they have these new like photo ads that you can use. And then they have like the native ads. I guess they call them like shopping ads. So it tells it shows a picture, shows the pricing information. And it's a really cool way to like get more conversions on your website.
And this is obviously not a quantifiable thing, or at least an easily quantifiable thing, but continue adding quality content until you're adding the best content, until you are the best. Work on improving your keywords, improving your sentence structure. All of it. There's obviously no this is the best. It's all opinion based, but continue working toward being content that everyone will look at and think, yes, they put a lot of time into this. This is well written. I should listen to this content.
Yeah, once you start getting those natural backlinks, once you're seeing people actually linking to your site and your content, then you'll know that that's the type of content that you want to replicate. Because those articles are what people want to read. And, the common consumer on Google is wanting to read that type of content. So if you want to keep building those type of articles.
How do you get in front of those people? You mentioned, when people start, linking to you, how do you get in front of those people?
Yeah, so you can find blogs, that do stuff in similar niches, like maybe not a direct competitor. So let's say you're in the office chair niche and you want to just find somebody who writes about, lifestyle or something, a lifestyle blog. You can write, try to reach out to them, see if they want to do a guest post on their blog posts, and try and link them to your website. And that's the main strategy, is having guest outreach. That's kind of the white hat way to go. The PBN is more the gray hat. You can buy PBN links. There's actual guest linking services. Matt Diggity does a variety of stuff. He sells PBN links, but he also has a white hat service where they actually do the guest link outreach for you. It's called Authority Builders, and it's a really great service. Pretty much you find what niche you're interested in, and they do all the hard, the heavy lifting of actually getting the guest post for you.
And then, I mean, we kind of touched on this earlier, but establish yourself as the person to go to. And that's kind of hand in hand with having the best content. But become the person that, oh, this new chair came out with this new automatic feature to, I don't know, what do chairs do? Automatically adjust based off of your posture. I don't know. Is this a chair that I should look into? Oh, hey, is Mike Swig's website, what have they said about this? Be that person. And a possible way to do that, that we haven't touched on yet is, try to, maybe build a social media following, try to build a community around yourself there, because, that's something else I've seen with Amazon associate businesses. The people who, a lot of people who are the authority in their niche are people who say, oh yeah, I regularly engage with my, customers, with my community on social media, and they recognize that I am someone who's worth listening to about this.
Yeah, we definitely see people, try to replicate that, either with an avatar or, creating a social media presence. Definitely makes your website seem more reputable if you do have, if you're on Instagram, Facebook. Even if you're not getting a lot of traffic, you can set up things to automate. There's WordPress plugins that will automatically post everything to social media
Mm-hmm.
for you. Um, so it's definitely something that it's an easy thing to do, and if you're not doing it, there's no way you'll become an authority in that
And
niche.
I mean, as Swig was saying, it's easy to do, and it's just, an extra set of eyes. I mean, if you
Yeah.
post on Facebook, if you post the same article on just your website and another person posts the same article on their website and Facebook, I mean, more people are going to see it because it's on multiple different platforms.
Yeah, and you always have that, it's another way for, people see it on Facebook, they share it, that
Mm-hmm.
gets seen by somebody who wants to include it on their website. So it's a great strategy for getting out
Yeah,
the links,
it's
backlinks.
just it's just more traffic. So so
Exactly.
now, Swig, let's kind of talk about this listing we have picked out today. It's Amazon Associates, so it fits into what we're talking about. It's listing 44352 on Empire Flippers, so empireflippers.com/listing/44352 if you would like to, look for yourself and see what we're talking about. But it's an Amazon Associates business, health and beauty niche. The business is making $9,658 in monthly revenue, $9,271 in profit, and that's based off of the last year's average. But just something I really want to hit home with this before I toss it over to Swig is, you look at these numbers, expenses for these kinds of websites, for these kinds of businesses, are very, very low. The profit level is often very close to the revenue level, because there's just, once you get a site up and going, you put in all that work up front. If the site is naturally growing and organically getting traffic, you don't need to put a ton of money in. It can come in passively.
Yeah, it looks like they're only putting in 5 hours a week and netting around $10,000 a month in profit, which is really
Mm-hmm.
great. Um, and they do use a PBN, which has their PBN has 15 to 20 sites. And one of the strategies we recommend is that when you purchase a business like this, that you actually, you definitely want to keep those PBN sites up and running. But the thing that you can do to make sure of that is you can actually pay the seller a monthly fee to keep those sites in place.
And what do you typically see as a price on that service?
It really depends. It can run from anywhere from $20 to $30 per site, to keep that link. So, but some of the links can be $10 per website. It really varies per each seller we have. So it's something you would have to negotiate with them. But having that sort of agreement where they're getting another monthly income for those PBN sites.
Now, Swig, something I want to touch on with this business again is there's a little, and you and I were talking about this before we started the show today, but there's a level of seasonality with this business. What would you recommend to, try to even that out a little bit?
Yeah, it looks like they're definitely seasonal around Christmas time, which most people are, no matter what business you're in, Christmas time is one of the biggest months in retail for all of North America, most of the world actually. So, what's nice, what I like to see about this business is that even though they're a little bit seasonal, I think it's in a niche. Health and beauty is a niche where you could start focusing on, let's just do like a monthly best products of the month. Find some stuff on Amazon that's really good in January, write about it, beforehand, and kind of have like a monthly overview of content. So every month you're putting together the best collections of that product in the health and beauty niche to kind of help with the seasonality. So finding new products and finding new content topics to add, that'll help with the seasonality.
And even if you add this content and it doesn't work out, you're not going to lose what you already have. You're not going to lose the articles that are currently bringing you that, peak. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try.
Exactly. So that's one of the things. There's not much risk to adding more content.
I mean, I feel like I say this a lot, but I mean, doing more can only put you in front of more people. Doing all this stuff and getting in front of more people can just bring in more revenue. I mean, that's it right there. So guys, we're going to be wrapping up here. And again, if you have any questions, let us know on Facebook or YouTube. And we want to answer all of your questions. Now, before we get to that though, there is something that we want to touch on. And so let's get to it. So EF Live is going to be moving to 10 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays. We're going to keep the Wednesday day, but we're going to be moving 4 hours earlier. So right now it is 2:45 Eastern. Next week we'll be starting 4 hours sooner. So we'll be starting at 10 a.m. And a reason why we want to do this is we recognize that we have a lot of we have a lot of people who we know with Empire Flippers who can't watch, they're in Asia or something like that, and they can't watch during this time. It's a very good time for North America. So what we hope is this time here is going to be a time of day that is not only good for North America because it's still 10 a.m., but it's also going to be good for Asia and, other parts of the world as well, because we want to get everyone in here so that, people can ask their questions here.
Yeah, I think the new time's going to be really fitting for everyone in our audience. We have we have a lot of people from the US and from North America. But again, there's a huge part of our audience that's tuning in from Asia or wanting to tune in, but 2 a.m., 3 a.m. is kind of difficult for them to do that.
It's funny you say that. If we didn't, and this isn't a factor at all, actually, we were prepared to do this, but when I'm in Asia this summer, I would have been up at 2, 3 a.m. doing this show. So that is kind of funny that you mentioned that. But yeah, we really want this to be a show that caters to everyone. And so we feel like this is, something that we hope that this caters to everyone here. So moving forward here, now it's time for Q&A. As we mentioned, any questions you have, whether it be about Amazon Associates, whether it be about Amazon, whether it be about Empire Flippers, we want to be able to help you to the best of our ability. And anything you have, post it on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll try to get to it. So Swig, let me see what we've got here. First question, Polonius. Finding good writers for the natural health space has been a challenge, to put it mildly. So I guess, Swig, what would be your tip to help Polonius here?
Yeah, Polonius, this is a great question, and this is probably one of the hardest things about an Amazon associate is finding quality people. I've been lucky, and I've used Upwork a lot, and I've had a lot of success there. You definitely need to add some barriers, like make sure that you're only posting for, if your site's going to be in English, make sure that you're looking for native English speakers. I've had writers that are dealing with in the US, and they're American, they've studied English at university. They really understand how to research the types of topics that I want them to write about, and you can really get them to kind of implement those as well. So that's kind of what I found is it's a higher expense, but it's worthwhile, by getting that higher quality.
And you would recommend finding those people on like Upwork or something like that?
Yeah, Upwork.com. There's Freelancer. Another really cool strategy if you want to find something a little bit different. So it looks like he's in the natural health niche. And one strategy that's really cool is you can head over to Reddit.com, find a subreddit that's in your niche. Let's say, whatever products that you're looking for, head over to Reddit, search those products, find a subreddit that's discussing that. Reach out to people who seem really passionate about it, and you can offer them, send them a private message, see that this person's been posting, every few days about your niche. Reach out to them, send them a message and see, hey, I'm interested in you writing content for my website, and I'll pay you X amount of dollars. Will you be interested? Because they're on Reddit, they're doing this for free. They're very passionate about the topic, and when somebody reaches out to them, say, hey, why don't you come write this content, on my website, and I'll pay you for it. Most of the time, they're really thrilled to do that.
Yeah, that's actually a great strategy, Swig. Justin asks, why are most Amazon associate sites using PBN? Again, PBN stands for Private Blog Network. We touched on this earlier in the show a bit, but a PBN is used because it can help speed up the process of ranking on Google. It can really, as Swig has said before, if you don't use a PBN, it can take a year before you are even getting close to where you want to rank on Google for these keywords. Whereas with a PBN, you have a network of websites, of blogs that you use to link back to your main website, which kind of which makes Google think that a lot of people are linking to this website. It is, it's obviously a good site, so it'll rank higher. And I mean, people use that to try to, rank faster. But with that said, though, if that is something you want to do, definitely look into researching how to do it effectively and correctly, because if you mess up at all, it is possible that, you could get penalized by Google.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more risky, but we've seen a lot of people have PBN strategies that are just working really well. And, we're one of the only brokers that actually discloses that these websites people are buying are using PBNs, because we do, it comes up in our vetting process, and we want to make sure that we're disclosing that information, because there is, a little bit more risk than a true white hat site. But it's one of those things that people are making it work. Like this, feature listing, that they are using a PBN and it's included. So when you buy that business, you're actually getting the PBN, the 15 to 20 PBN sites included in the package.
And as Swig was also saying, if there have been some times that we see a deal structured where the seller doesn't want to sell the PBN, as part of the business because, maybe they use it to link for other websites as well. So in that case, something that we would recommend is trying to negotiate with the seller. Hey, I'll pay you, a service fee every single month to maintain this PBN. So that way you can ensure that this isn't going to get shut down when when I take over this business. So we've got iCommerce.com asking, how do I start one? How do I start an Amazon Associates website? Swig, what's step one?
I mean, step one is kind of figuring out your niche. So whatever niche you want to be involved in, if you're going to be doing the content yourself, I think, a lot of people say write about something you're interested in. And I think that's, generally a good thing. But in the online business space, it can be, the topic that you're interested in might be really competitive. So it might be better to find something that, maybe you have a little bit of interest in learning more about it, but maybe it's not the most flashy niche. Like, let's say it's just like toilets or something, or you don't really want to be writing, hours and hours of content on different types of toilets. So that's why I recommend outsourcing that content to somebody.
The first step is really find your niche, do some research to find a competitive, you want to find a popular niche that is relatively low on competition within other, Amazon Associate sites. And,
exactly.
So that's step one. Step two is do keyword research and, figure out what words you want to target and how you should structure these articles. Step 3 and 4 are build your website. Oh, well, I guess also you need to pick a domain. You need to pick a website name that is relevant to the niche. And then the next steps are write the content, either do that yourself or outsource it, and then get the website built. And then also, Swig, with that said, though, something we should definitely touch on is what's the process like for getting accepted into the Amazon Associates program? I actually had a cousin who wanted to be in the Amazon Associates program. She applied and she got denied. So, yeah.
Really? Yeah, that's surprising. There's like a few states that if you put your state on there, they're not allowed to be in the Amazon Associates program, which is sad for fellow Missourian myself. We're actually as long as I checked, it was a year or so ago, Missouri residents weren't allowed to be in the Amazon Associates program. There's a lot of ways around that by using, different addresses, and, you kind of have to check into and make sure your application is correct. But you want to start your Amazon Associates application. You don't want to do it right away. If you apply and you don't have a website, there's a good chance that you're going to get declined. So what happened? Do you know what happened with your cousin?
She had her website up and running. Do you know if Florida is one of those states that you aren't allowed to be in the program?
I'm not sure actually, but you want to have at least 20 pieces of content even before applying for the Amazon Associates website. So it might have been that they're too new, or I think there's 7 or 8 states that are excluded. So I'm not sure. Besides Missouri, I'm not sure what the other ones are.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll check in with her and ask her some of those details. And I'm sorry if I butcher your name. Please correct me in chat if I get this wrong. But Alwayne Gray asks, is Web 2.0 links worth using?
Yeah, so I definitely think like any type of links, like diversifying your backlinking structure is going to be the best way to go. So Web 2.0 is going to be stuff like on YouTube. Like let's say we included a link to, on EF Live, that would be considered a Web 2.0 link. Wikipedia, any of those like, Facebook links. And that's definitely something Google, still looks at. Like they're looking at those social, for those social pieces of content that are being shared. Yeah, but other than that, I think having Web 2.0 links is definitely going to be not something you should focus all your time on. But if you're doing it, if you've kind of, you're already ranking, you're doing everything else, definitely put some time into to make sure you're sharing on social and that you're getting Web 2.0 links.
Polonius back with another question, and this is actually a very good question considering you mentioned that you think that you should try to have articles 1,200 words or larger. So Polonius, how much should one budget per word for quality?
Yeah, so once you find a quality writer, what I like to do is, if you're using Upwork, let's say you post a job, you limit it to people who are only in English speaking countries, and you have them send you over and do a piece of test article. So most people will do a test article for around $10. This is not going to be their normal rate. So it might be an 800 word article about something in your niche. It's something you can use to see what their content's like. The biggest thing that I recommend for, when you're hiring a writer, is see how their communication is with you. If you're going to be hiring them full time, if they're not getting back to you within 24 hours, I'm going to go ahead and just exclude them, because I want somebody who's on top of it and is going to be really back and forth with communication. So what you can do is you can get some test articles for around $10 to $15, and then see how the content, how the quality is. But as far as like moving forward, I think you can get some really long, 1,500 word articles for around $20. Again, it's more expensive than hiring somebody from Asia who's, in the Philippines. You can get content for $5, $10 for that same piece of, content. But I just think, there's something Google likes about having native English speakers, and I highly recommend paying the extra for that.
I mean, $20 for 1,500 words still doesn't seem terrible to me. I've heard of people paying more.
Yeah, there's definitely people paying more. And what I like to do is I like to tier a structure. So that way they have incentive to work on the article. So let's say you're going to work with a writer. You found a writer who's producing quality content. The communication back and forth is great. You do, the first article they send you is going to be, $15. The second article is going to be $16. And then, you just keep going up to get that first package. So you just say, $200 for 10 articles, $250 for 10 articles, or whatever. And then you just kind of tier it out. So that way they have an incentive to keep working for you.
What about the content writing marketplace, like HireWriter or iWriter? Is there any native writer?
Yeah, so those are a few Upwork alternatives where they kind of do a lot of the work for you. So Upwork's kind of like similar to Craigslist. You have to filter out and go through and find somebody. There's a few other services. I think like iWriter is one of those, HireWriter, where you just tell them what you're looking for and they go and bring you a writer. So you really don't have to do any of the grunt work there. And you can definitely find some good writers there as well, but I think it's a little bit more expensive than what you're going to find on Upwork.
Guys, that's going to wrap it up. That's going to wrap it up for us today. Man, I got caught up on my words here. But that's going to wrap it up for us. EF Live, episode 9, Swig, coming back in here. Maybe we'll just have to get you back in here every
I'll be back.
Yeah,
again.
I hope you're having fun. I'm having fun. So, guys, again, next week we'll be back still on Wednesday, but 4 hours sooner at 10 a.m. Eastern time. If that doesn't work for you, like if you have been tuning in every week here at 2 p.m. and 10 a.m. doesn't work for you, like, I'm sincerely sorry. And something that you can do is, these are obviously posted on YouTube, and you can watch the rerun of it on YouTube and Facebook and Empire Flippers after the fact. If you have questions that you want to ask, obviously it's not going to be live and be able to get it in. What I would recommend is go in the YouTube comments on the rerun. Like, say next week you have a question about it, type it in the chat, and then we'll check the comments and we'll try to respond to you. We definitely want everyone to feel like they can get their questions in, and if this new time doesn't work for you, like, we're sorry, and we will do our very best to make sure that we still, get your questions answered and everything.
Yeah, definitely. I'm still seeing a few questions coming in the chat now, and I'm going to hop on chat after this, and I'll try and answer everyone. But yeah, look forward to, next week's show. I'll be tuning in at 10 a.m. Really looking forward to that new time zone, so everyone around the world can join us for EF Live.
Guys, thank you so much. This is EF Live, coming at you every single week. This is really the show designed to help you learn everything you need to know when buying, selling, starting, and running your own online business. And, as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Swig, did you have a closing remark there?
I do. If you liked the show, give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe down below. And, that way you'll get notified when we go live next week.
Yeah, I mean, if you are subscribed to the Empire Flippers YouTube channel or you like the Facebook page, you'll get a notification whenever we go live, and you'll be able to tune in. And also subscribe to the Empire Flippers mailing list if you like our content and you want to see more of this content. We send out emails with our content, and if you like it, definitely subscribe to us on all of the channels.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Jake.
Thank you, everyone watching. Thank you all so much. Like, it means the world to us. And, we will see you next week. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.